Okay, this will be a quick video tutorial of Ultimaker CURA. Important to note here that we first load the software. We want to make sure that we're using the correct version of the software. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the help menu and pull down to About and make sure that the version is 3.5.1. It's possible when you load the software you'll be asked if you want to upgrade. Just say no. We don't. We like version 3.5.1 for a lot of reasons. Sliced 3D models for 3D printing for a variety of 3D printers. And there are hundreds of different 3D printers out there. So it's important for us to pay attention to the fact that the upper right hand corner of the screen says the word monoprice, and that's the printer that we're going to be printing to. So keep that in mind. In this example and in most situations you're going to print in a material called PLA. That's a type of plastic. And now would be a good time to load our first file. So this is going to be a little different than maybe what some of you might particularly choose to 3D print. But I'm going to choose an STL file which was created with a 3D scanner here in the Tech Ed lab. This happens to be our current principle. And you'll notice that the stripes that you see through the 3D model, those are gray and yellow, I guess, indicate that he does not currently fit inside this blue box that indicates the work envelope of the 3D printer. So what I'm going to do to address that issue is I'm going to take and select him, and under my open file menu I have move and then I have scale. I'm going to scale him first. I found that most situations scaling can solve a lot of problems. So I'm going to scale him down. He turns yellow. You'll notice this is not the best 3D model ever. These red areas indicate what we call holes in the 3D model. So he's not watertight. Most models you download are not going to have that. I can also choose to move him around. So using the move tool I can kind of scooch him towards the back of the 3D print bed. Going here, looking at it from the front. For whatever reason, maybe I want to rotate. That's the third icon down. I could spin him around. For whatever reason, maybe I want to print with principal facing the back of the 3D printer. Additionally, if I wanted to create, or maybe I want to make a move like that more easily, I can mirror. So here again, now I've got him positioned and pointing towards the front. So just some simple controls that CURA gives you. On the right hand side, setting up your print, note that layer height and print speed are a function of one another. So as you increase the layer height, maybe you make the layer height bigger, the print's going to happen quicker. If you make the layer height smaller, the print's going to happen slower. If your layer height's a low number, it's going to be a better looking 3D print, but it's going to take a long time. If your layer height's bigger, it's going to take less time. It's going to be a faster print, but it's going to probably look kind of crummy. So for most situations, you're probably going to err from slower to maybe the middle. As far as infill goes, infill has to do with the inside of the object. So this particular model, I don't really care if it has any strength. You know, it's just kind of a display piece. So I might put the infill down at, say, 10%. That'll basically create a honeycomb inside the model. I won't be able to see that, and that's okay. If I crank that infill up, I get closer and closer to solid. That actually is going to have an incredible effect on the amount of time the 3D print takes. So you really want to weigh what is it your model is going to be for, and how important it is to you that it has some sort of strength. You know, if you're 3D printing something like this, there's no reason for it to be densely printed inside. But if you're 3D printing maybe a cell phone case, then yeah, it would be important to increase the infill. Most models probably will not require any supports, but build plate adhesion is really, really important. When I've reached this point, it's time to prepare to slice the model. And oftentimes CURA is known as a slicer. So it's taking that 3D model and it's cutting it into layers now, and it's calculating how long it would take me to 3D print that using my monoprice 3D printer. So about 3 hours and 54 minutes. Okay, 4 hours. It's going to take 12.54 meters of PLA, It's going to weigh about 37 grams, and if we set it up, we could calculate the cost of that particular 3D print.